if you love cars and there's a high chance you like to race them as well or want to get into it, and the best place to do that is a track day at your local racetrack. So today I'll be showing you how I prepare myself and my car, not that one, that one, so I can get the most out of every lap.
First thing I like to do is check all the lights, brake lights, indicators and hazards to make sure that everything's working smoothly. Then I'll pop the bonnet and jack up the car to check for any movement in the wheels and a quick inspection of the tyres before pulling them off.
Once your wheels are off, you want to inspect your tyres, as tyres can make or break your lap times. There's literally seconds between good tyres and bad tyres, and if you're just looking to get better lap times on a racetrack, tyres are the first thing you should do to your car. Following that, suspension and obviously brakes. Don't even bother touching that NOS bottle or turbo that's been sitting on your bench. Just start with these, and they're a wide range. You've got semi-slicks, slicks, good street tyres, and then these, which are just your run-of-the-mill tyres, and as you can see, they're quite worn out. Now, regardless of whether you're putting new tyres on or not, one thing you should always do is go get yourself a wheel alignment, and depending on if your car's modified or stock, they should be able to alter or tailor your wheel alignment to your needs so you can get better grip, which would result in better lap times. Now, at a track day, things get very hot and your brakes are one of them, and me personally, I like having a car that attains the function of stopping. So the bare minimum thing you should do is change your brake fluid to a higher temp fluid. Following that, if you want to go further, well, or upon inspecting your brakes, if your brake pads are worn and you need to replace them, just replace them with a track pad. Now, these are usually a high temperature pad that have a higher operating range. So usually street pads work better when they're cold. Track street pads have just a higher temperature range, and dedicated track pads, they usually actually don't work until they're hot. So don't put them on the street. However, last track day, I've already done that. I put in some endurance style pads, and they actually work quite well. So I don't need to change the pads, thankfully. However, I will be doing a fluid change just because it's good practice, and a bottle of brake fluid's like 10 bucks. So just do it. Just do it! Now, following pads and fluid, here's your brake rotor. Now, as you can see here, this one is quite worn. It has lips on top and the bottom, so it probably should be replaced. However, there's no shuddering under braking, there's no vibrations, the car stops really well. So I'm just gonna give these a final send off at the track tonight. However, afterwards, they will definitely need to be replaced. So after I've done my brakes and my tires, I like to pop off the under tray, if my car has one, and do an oil and filter change. And while that's draining, check around the rest of the car.
Fresh engine oil and a new filter is a must before any track day, and personally I like to change it again after. As for your other fluids like diff and gearbox oil, I like to swap those out around every 3 track days, but that can vary depending on how often you're hitting the track and how much street driving you're doing in between.
Now, some things that may need replacing but you can look for while doing your general check over around your vehicle is your belts and your spark plugs, and potentially other filters like your air filter and your fuel filter. Now, because this car is very close to its 100,000 service interval where I change the spark plugs and the belts, I'm just going to do them while I'm here because they're obviously already worn out and they would put under a lot more stress on the racetrack. Now, as part of your general check over around the car, you want to look for split hoses, leaking hoses, cracked radiators, anything that is abnormal in the engine bay as well as underneath your car. So like loose bushes, broken ball joints, CV boots, even little rust around bolts to show movement that they're actually starting to come loose. Because you want to find that stuff now before you end up on the track. While your car's on jack stands, it's a great opportunity to fit any modifications that you have lying around or planned. But in my case, I want to see what this car does as it is on the racetrack. So I won't be fitting any NOS bottles or putting any larger turbos on. What?
Make sure to remove any unnecessary items from your car, not just for safety, but so you can shave off a bit of extra weight too.
Your car's now prepped and now you need to pack it with things that you need for the track. Some are essential and some are just nice to haves, and they are all around me and behind me. Now, the essentials that you must take are fluids and tools. You want to take extra brake fluid, you want to take coolant, you want to take extra oil in case you have a mishap, speaking from experience. And well, what makes a car go broom is petrol. So especially if you're on E85, you really should take fuel, because some racetracks might have them, but the fuel is just ridiculously expensive. Now tools, you want a rattle gun and you want a light of some kind in case you need to inspect or look for leaks or anything, or in case it gets dark and your headlights don't work. And then you have a tire inflator. This is a portable one, all are powered by the same battery. You get them from Supercheap Auto. Of course, you will let down your tires on a track day, or you should. And you probably need to pump them up when you leave the racetrack if you are driving your car there like I am. One thing I forgot to mention, even though it was next to me on the bench, is tire pressure gauges, air pressure gauges. Your tire pressures at a track are so important. These cheap gauges are not really that great, especially not just in quality, but accuracy. And you want accurate tire pressures, because having the wrong tire pressures can actually make you do worse around a racetrack. And when you experience the difference for the first time, it's actually mind-blowing about how better and quicker you can be around a racetrack. So just go out, buy a good quality tire pressure gauge from the get-go. Do not buy a cheap one like I did when I was first starting out, because they're actually not that accurate. I've compared this one to a more expensive one, and the difference is actually scary. So go buy a good quality one, not a cheap one. In addition to that, you want a good toolkit and tools that you use on your car. So spanners, pliers, sockets, ratchets. This toolkit here has literally everything you need. It's actually a really good toolkit. This not sponsored, it's a great toolkit. And you want to take impact sockets. Now these are for your rattle gun, of course, and your breaker bar to make sure your wheel nuts are tight. Following that, well, if you want to jack something up, you need a trolley jack. Ideally get a low profile one if you can, if you have a low car. And in addition with that, jack stands as well. You want to be safe, because safety is important. Then you have WD-40. We all know WD-40, it's really, really good. However, WD-40 have a specialist range where they have a wide variety of other products like degreaser, brake cleaner, silicone spray, contact cleaner, a lot of things. It's actually really good, you should check it out. However, all you really need is brake cleaner and degreaser, more so brake cleaner, and the OG in case you need to get tight things loose. Another thing you should take, which I forgot to mention, is tape and cable tires, the Car Guy Special. Now cable tires obviously for tying up stuff, the brakes, but also you can use these to tie the transponder for your lap times to your car. And tape, well, let your imagination run wild. Now, nice to haves. A helmet, no I'm kidding. Safety, let's do safety first. Helmet, get one. Most or all tracks, say 98% of tracks require a helmet. You can get a bike helmet, that's what this is, a proper race helmet, an open face helmet. And I put a camera on it too, so you can film your hectic lap times. Following that, these are not necessary, but on a racetrack, you need to have, again, 9 times out of 10, you need to have full length top and bottom. So that's like a long sleeve shirt or jumper and pants. However, me, I actually have a race suit. So I just wear that when I go because I just want to get used to wearing a suit. And I also have gloves and shoes, all are fire retardant. So God forbid, shall you crash your car and everything catches on fire, you don't catch on fire. Speaking of things catching on fire and getting lit, fire extinguisher, get one and put it in your car, no matter what you drive or how new or old your car is, because you never know when you might need one. And where do you put all this stuff for your track day? Your race crate, track crate, whatever you want to call it. This is from Bunnings, I'll link it below. Now, believe it or not, everything that I've shown you fits in here, with the exception of the toolkit. You just chuck that in the car. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, this is for bleeding brakes, collects all your fluid. And of course, when you arrive at the racetrack, take it out of the car. Don't leave it in there. Don't drive around the track with it in there. Because number one, you'll get slower lap times because you just added 40 kilos to your car. And it's dangerous. Plus, track days are pretty long, so make sure you pack yourself a camp chair or a chair of some kind. So if someone is sitting, you're not standing the entire time wearing yourself out when you're not on the racetrack. Now, we've covered how to prepare your car, what you need to take to the racetrack with you, but now it's preparing yourself. So we'll start with, I guess, mindset and setting expectations, and then we'll go all the way through to, well, what you should eat, drink, and do. So, mindset and expectations. I guess first thing is, like the first session, you go out there, you're excited, maybe nervous, but use that to warm up your car and get used to the track. And in line with that, study the track. If you can get a map of the track, look at the turns, the bends, or even better still actually, do that, though look at professionals or other people racing around that track. For example, Eastern Creek, look at the record lap and see what lines they take, how they approach the track, all that kind of stuff. And you're not in F1, okay? It might be your first track day or it might be someone else's first track day. They might react differently, they might be nervous. They may not know what they're doing, or if you don't know what you're doing, that's also okay if it's your first time because you're learning. So just treat it like that and also set realistic expectations. If it's your first time there, you're not going to set a lap record. If you do, well, that's awesome, but you're probably not. You're probably going to, I don't know, take bad lines, go off the track. We've all done that, speaking from experience. So just set realistic expectations. So therefore, if you do meet them or you don't, you're not, severely disappointed. Because remember, especially for your first track day, you just go have fun and you're going to get the itch and you're going to want to do more, go more often, modify your car more. It's just normal. Now, what you should eat and drink. I think it's pretty simple, but I'll touch on it anyway. So make sure you get plenty of sleep. Usually track days, you have to get up early, probably 5, 6 o'clock, probably earlier. So don't go to bed at midnight. Don't go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, get at least 6 to 7 hours. No, you're not that 7 to 8 hours sleep. Okay, and make sure you're not drinking the night before. Probably, don't go smashing doobies if you're into that. And also, what you eat the night before, eat something good. Don't go eating KFC or Macca's. Eat something like that's gonna hold water in your body, so like spaghetti. Make sure you're having like, your fruit and veggies, even some steak. You don't want to be eating something crap that your body has to then digest, which can affect your sleep. And then it's not going to digest anything or absorb anything because you haven't had anything nutritional. Now on the day, obviously hydrate, drink lots of water the night before, during the night, the morning of, the whole day, okay? Drink water, that's the bare minimum you should do. Drink water, get some good sleep. Following that, at the track, what should you pack? Definitely take bananas. They're a great source of vitamins and minerals. And they're great. They give you up to like 90 minutes of energy apparently on an empty stomach. Usually the vans or the cafes there, they're expensive, the food's crap and it's probably not good for you. So pack your own food. So therefore, if you go to a racetrack and there's nothing there, you're not gonna starve the whole day. Because if you starve, you're low blood sugar, you might get lightheaded, dizzy, and you do not want that when you're doing 200 Ks an hour down a racetrack. Take some sort of protein, carbs, so like make a chicken sandwich or something like before. Get a Woolies chicken if you're into that, or probably more so a Lebanese charcoal chicken would be better for you and taste better. So essentially, get lots of sleep, drink lots of water, don't drink, don't do drugs, and make sure you eat well, and you'll be sweet. I hope this has been informative and somewhat entertaining, and if you're going to your first track day, have a blast. It's gonna be awesome, and I guarantee you will want to do more. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.